This technical tip is about migrating legacy fasteners to the new Intelligent Fastener extension. Under C, IFX Library Screws, I have 3 legacy fasteners. Under the load point of Creo, Common Files, AFX, Parts, Screws and Pins, Screws, I've created a new folder called Jim. This is the location of my new custom library. The quickest and easiest way to migrate legacy fasteners is to copy an existing standard from the out-of-the-box library and paste them into your new custom folder. Then rename the files to suit your custom library. So in this case, I'm going to rename this file to be Jim_ISO 4017. The MNU file should be the same name as the containing folder. So in this case, it's going to be Jim.mnu. Edit the MNU file to suit your custom library. So line 1 can be Jim. Line 4 should be the same name as the DAT file that we just created, but with the extension .prt. The 5th line will be the English tooltip. The 6th line can be a localized tooltip. As I'm going to be English only, I'm going to copy and paste the English text. I'm then going to remove all the remaining content from the MNU file. We can now edit the DAT file. The DAT file lists all the items that are in my custom library. I'm going to reuse the existing M8 by 20 content and just rename it to be the same name as my PRT file. I'm going to do the same for the M8 by 30 part file. And the same for the M10 by 20 part file. These 3 entries here are custom parameters. As I do not want any custom parameters, I can simply remove them. This content here is used for the preview in the IFX dialog. And this information here is the pitch value, and the pitch value of the screw must match the pitch value of the associated nut. At the top we have the surface ID and the axis ID of the fasteners. To identify the IDs, set the configuration option show selected item underscore ID to be yes, and also set the configuration option search path to point to your custom library. By hovering the cursor over the axes, you'll see that the ID of the axes is 96, and hovering the cursor over the fastener head, you'll see that the ID is 61. Back in the DAT file, we're going to set the surface ID to be 61 and the axis ID to be 96. And we repeat the procedure for the M8 by 30 and the M10 by 20. So for the M8 by 30, the surface ID is 475, for the M10 by 20 it's 99, and for the axes it's 512 and 71. We can reuse the counterbore screw information, and again I can edit the tooltip. I'm now going to go back to the screws folder and edit the screws menu and tell it to look in the Jim folder, and again just add a tooltip and a localized tooltip. Now that I've saved that file, we can restart Creo and place our new fastener. So under the Jim folder, you'll see that we have the tooltip, a tooltip, and you'll see that we have the tooltip, Jim's custom fasteners for the available screws. You'll see that we have M8 and M10 and the 2 lengths for the M8. On selection OK, and IFX assembles your legacy fastener. In summary, you edit the screws menu to point to your custom folder. In your custom folder, you copy an existing MNU and DAT file from an existing standard out of the box. The MNU file points to your DAT file with the extension PRT. The DAT file points to your 3 legacy fasteners with the surface ID, axes and counterbore information. This concludes today's technical tip on how to migrate legacy fasteners to Intelligent Fastener extension.